Elton, Quay, and Christian Watson did not participate. Limited were Jair, Devondre, AJ Dillon, RG, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Owens, Jaden Reed, Darnell Savage, and Devontae Wyatt.
With Aaron going the last 2 days, is he at least trending in a positive direction? I'm not committing to Monday, but is he trending?
He's getting better, so that's positive.
Does the playing surface there have to weigh into consideration with the guy coming back from a knee injury?
Not to my knowledge. That's not something I've ever thought of, but maybe to our medical staff. It's not been part of our conversation, so.
What happened to Elton?
Just being cautious with him.
What have you seen turnovers-wise from the Giants? I think they had 9 in the last 2 weeks. Is it good fortune?
I think it's +9 the last 3 weeks, I want to say, or something like that. They've done a great job of not only they do a really good job at punching at the football, getting the ball out. You can tell that is something that is emphasized there. You see it from multiple players on their defense. They get to the quarterback pretty well, and when they do, they do a good job getting the ball out. But they've made a lot of plays in the back end as well.
Their pass defense, opponent passer rating has been pretty good this season. What do they do to kind of get after the opposing passer?
Well, again, I think it's a pretty good scheme. When you couple that with good players and you got a good rush, it tends to make it problematic for an offense. So I think they do a really nice job of that, mixing coverage and, just giving you different pressure looks. So it's definitely a challenge.
Did the extra day this week give you guys a chance to do any little self-scouting, or did you just take the day off, for the week?
Excuse me? Yeah, we were just chilling, I don't get offended by much, Spoon, but that almost offends me.
I could make it worse.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
No, seriously.
In all seriousness, no. What we did was, with the extra day, there was. I'm hesitant to even say this because I never like to get ahead, but a lot of times when you get back after a Monday night game, you get back very early in the morning, and it makes the plan for the next week you got a lot less time. And so typically what a lot of teams will do is later in the week, they'll start focusing on the next opponent towards the tail end of the week when all the plans already put in. But what this allowed us to do was take the beginning of the week or just the first day, I would say, to focus on what we have in front of the next opponent, so it's not such a grind when we get back at 4 a.m. or whatever it is on Tuesday. But because I don't like to switch back and forth between opponents. Just want to be focused on who you got right in front of you and knowing that we got a great challenge in front of us on Monday night at their place.
I see this young team where guys are several positions are competing to keep on the field. I see this team that responds on Thanksgiving and Sunday night with these games with big energy. So now you get into this, the next phase. Is this because you've gone up in the standings? Are there different things that are keeping these guys motivated and juiced for this next couple of games ahead of them?
Yeah, I think every opportunity. I think especially with a young team, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and but you also got to understand. And the one thing that you got to bring your best each and every week, and I don't care who you're playing. It's got to be your best, and that's been the emphasis, I'd say, all season long. It's just, I think we're starting to improve as a football team, but like we've said so many times, you're only as good as your last game, and you got another challenge right in front of you. Again, a primetime game on the road against a team that beat us last year. And so I think that's plenty of motivation.
So when you talk to these guys, that's cutting through, right? They're not tuning you out or anything or getting overconfident.
That's not a question for me to answer. That would definitely be a question for the locker room. but I would hope not.
Here's a question maybe for you. Along the lines of maybe with young players, you don't know what you don't know. Are rookies less susceptible to detecting pressure and expectations? I mean, they know that. I don't know if you can observe this or know, or tell, but they know the situation. Is there any difference with them?
That's a great question. I think that's one that we're going to find out, just kind of see how we handle just, added pressure, whatever it may be. So I'm excited to see that, but I'm really excited about this group, just our approach. I don't feel like anything's changed from day one to where we are now in terms of just coming to work each and every day, putting your best foot forward and trying to get a little bit better.
From the outside, Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness have garnered a lot of the attention at edge rusher. What has Preston Smith given you this season?
Consistent play each and every time he's out there. I think he does a great job of just kind of, he's the old head in the room, so to speak, and he does a great job of, keeping it all together. And I can't say enough about him, just from our time together, just seeing him grow as a leader, not only for that room, for our defense, for the football team. He's been very reliable, very consistent. You can always count on him.
Do you have to, obviously with the last two games, and maybe it's by necessity, I'm sure, but Dylan has, I think it's 28 carries to PT's 5, so I suppose that maybe leads to maybe opponents saying, hey, 28's in the game, it's more likely to be a run versus the other way around. You have to say something you have to be cognizant of, that there's some trends there, or do you just kind of go with what's working?
No, I think a lot of that is, well, what's the situation? PT's gone in there more, I would say, in some of those known passing situations, whether it's 2-minute, whether it's some of the third downs to give AJ a break. So I think it's more situationally based.
Could Kenyon Drake help you right away, or does he need some time to get used to the system?
No, I think he's a guy that absolutely, he's played enough ball. He's been around enough ball. He's done a nice job in our walkthroughs and practice. So we'll just see kind of where we are going into Monday night.
Is any of that position-based? Is it any easier for a running back to come in and learn a system, or is it the same regardless of position you're
I think dependent upon. I think some of the things could be maybe a little bit easier. I know he's been in systems that have used similar terminology, and I think that's always the hard part for guys coming in. I think it typically is a little bit easier for veterans to come in and pick up and just learn this stuff at a much higher rate, because they've got a reference point. They've learned, there's a lot of stuff across the league that is very, very similar. It's just, how do you articulate it? There might be finer details of the coaching that could be a little bit different, but I think a lot of it is, there's a lot of carryover.
What's the challenge of a player like Saquon Barkley?
Because there's nothing he can't do. I think we saw that up close and personal a year ago. He took a wildcat run like 40 yards. He caught a shallow cross out of the backfield for like 40 yards. He broke off a few runs as well. He's a guy he's an explosive guy, and you got to have multiple hats when you go to tackle him. You got to gang tackle him, because he can make you miss. He's explosive. He can stick his foot in the ground. Obviously, he's great at breaking tackles. There were a couple clips that we showed the squad just in terms of him being bottled up and finding a way out of it. So whether it's the run game, the pass game, whether he's at wildcat, at quarterback, he's a guy that you absolutely need to contain.